It is one of the greatest maritime mysteries in history. A massive cargo ship larger than the Titanic vanishes into thin air. There's no sign of a crash, no lifeboats, no flares, and not even a single piece of wreckage. What happened to the MV Derbyshire? Hi everyone, it's me. Number 4, The Last Message. On the night of September 9th, 1980, the MV Derbyshire was sailing through the Pacific Ocean. At the time, the ship was carrying over 38,000 tons of phosphate rock. It was heading from Peru to Japan, and everything seemed to be going well. Around 11:20 p.m., the ship's captain sent a radio message to the Panama Canal Authority. He informed them that he was 250 nautical miles south of Acapulco in Mexico. He also let them know that he expected to arrive at the canal in 2 days. This would be the last contact anyone would have with the ship for over 6 days. The captain's son, Pedro, told Inside Edition that his dad was an experienced sailor. He loved the sea. He knew every inch of the ship, and my dad was never intoxicated. So why did he vanish without a trace? No. 3. The cover-up. When the Derbyshire didn't show up at the Panama Canal on time, authorities assumed it had sunk. They didn't bother to look for survivors because they believed everyone had died. But this wasn't exactly true. At least that's what the father of one of the crew members insists. Leo Nilsson's son, Torin, worked as a cook on the ship. 6 days after the Derbyshire was supposed to arrive at the canal, his father received a call from the U.S. Navy. They told him they were launching a search and rescue mission. But 2 days later, the Navy called back. Leo was shocked when they told him the ship had likely sunk. I said, "How can you say that? Haven't done anything. You haven't even looked." The man replied, "We know the ship has sunk. We don't want to waste your hopes." Then he hung up. Leo couldn't believe the government just gave up on finding his son. So he did something crazy. He hired his own plane and flew to Mexico. He then chartered a boat and began searching the waters where the Derbyshire was last seen. After looking for 3 days, he returned home empty-handed. He then contacted other families of the crew members, all 32 of them. Together they convinced the Mexican and Panamanian governments to launch a full-scale investigation. Number 2. The search. The search for the MV Derbyshire was one of the largest in history. It involved the U.S. Navy, the Mexican Navy, helicopters, airplanes, ships from other countries, and even civilians. For weeks, they combed through the area where the ship was last seen, but they never found any debris. The only thing they found was an oil slick, but it wasn't connected to the ship. What made the search even more confusing was the fact that the ship's log showed calm seas on the night it disappeared. One theory was that the ship ran into a rogue wave and instantly sank, but there shouldn't have been any waves higher than 6 feet that night. Even if the ship took on water and began to sink, it would have had enough time to send out flares or lifeboats. Then there was the ship's life raft. This is a small boat that can be launched from a bigger ship in an emergency, but it was still on board when the ship arrived at the port in Peru 3 weeks before it disappeared. One of the most popular theories is that the ship was hijacked, but there was no evidence of a struggle. Plus, who would want to steal a ship carrying phosphate rock? And what about the ship's last radio message? If someone had taken over the ship, wouldn't they have shut off the radio or changed the course? Number 1, the aftermath. In the end, nobody knows what happened to the MV Derbyshire. Some believe it sank after hitting an underwater rock. Others think it was hijacked by pirates. But we may never know the truth because the case was never reopened. After the search came up empty, the families of the victims lost interest. They didn't want to keep searching because it was too painful. Even though the ship vanished 42 years ago, some people still have questions. Take Pedro, the captain's son, for example. He told Inside Edition, "I wake up in the middle of the night with cold sweats, thinking about the unanswered questions. I wish I could get answers for my dad and for myself." Likewise, John was only 17 years old when his brother Mark went missing on the Derbyshire. There are a lot of unanswered questions. In the back of my mind, I'm hoping someday someone will find the wreck. Sadly, that probably won't happen because the ship is over 250 feet underwater. It's highly unlikely that it will ever be found. There are also no plans to rename the ship. In case you're wondering, the MV Derbyshire is considered a total loss. The insurance company paid out $4 million to the ship's owner, but that doesn't mean much to the families of the victims. They turned down an offer from the insurance company to split the money between them. In the end, their loved ones were never found, and neither was the ship. That's why they want answers. But unfortunately, the world may never know what happened to the MV Derbyshire. Which brings us to the question for you. What do you think happened to the ship? Was it a pirate attack, a natural disaster, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments below. And before you go, make sure to subscribe for more videos like these. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time.